Well, Stephen, I know it's still probably fresh to you, but give us an idea of the emotions right now to be so close twice and to come up a little bit short. What's the emotions right now?
Disappointed, man. Worked my whole life to get here. I thought I won the fight, but you can't leave it in the judge's eyes. So that was on me.
I know it might be tough to recount. You're saying you thought you won the fight. I'm not sure if you can recount the scoring, or how did you guys have it? Did you think you had it 3 rounds to 2? What did you feel?
I thought I definitely thought I had 3 rounds. I know he took me down. I think it was in the 3rd round, but stood right back up. Of course, he landed some shots down on the ground. Didn't hurt. Tyron's a big guy. He's very strong. He's got a mean right hand, good takedowns, very strong in the clinch position. So I had to play it smart out there. So just try to pick him apart. Use my side kicks, use my jab, throwing leg kicks. I thought I had it, man. And I don't remember what the scorecards were, but I think somebody gave him a 10-8.
Yeah, in round 5.
Which I don't see that. Yeah, he knocked me down, but popped right back up. I was good. Yeah.
Certainly a tactical battle, but there were, kind of long periods of inactivity. How did you feel about that? I mean, I know you guys had a lot of respect for each other, and it's not like you're just standing there. You're both concerned with what's coming on the other side. But, what led to those periods of inactivity? And did you feel like, there were adjustments to make or that you had to step up the pace? I'm sure you probably heard the crowd a little bit.
Yeah.
Just explain it to us.
Well, the thing is, you're the one that's out there. Of course, the crowd, everybody's watching you, but they're not the ones in the octagon getting punched in the face. So, you got to learn to block that out and just do what you know you got to do. I don't know, man. I thought I did what I needed to do to get the job done, but it wasn't enough. So got to go back to the drawing board and hopefully, keep this going.
Where do you go from here? Obviously a 3rd fight wouldn't be on deck right away. So, do you want some time off? Do you want to get back in there quickly to kind of get this taste out of your mouth? What's the right plan?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm going to go back and talk with my coaches, my family, see what's going on. Definitely want to heal up. Took a big shot in the 5th round and 2 big shots in the fight before that. So just want to make sure everything's ticking up here okay. I definitely, I'm a fighter. I'm gonna fight whoever. But I want to go back and talk with my coaches and see if we should take some time off or we should get another fight. So it's kind of up to us. We're going to congregate and see what we can get going.
Steve over here. Gio.
Yes, sir.
Do you think going 10 rounds retiring that to add more to your arsenal or something like that? Do you think that's something you need to go to the drawing board or just keep kind of do what's got you up to this point?
I think what I'm doing is working. Obviously, I've got things I got to work on. Always something. There's some, you can go back and work on. We're going to go back with my coaches and watch the fight and see what I could have done better and what things I shouldn't have done out there. But I thought I fought a good fight, good game plan going out there. And, yeah, man, there's always something you can work on. Obviously, he got me down in the 1st round, but I thought I recovered very well. 3rd round, I think it was, he took me down. He's a very, very powerful guy. Yeah, man, just emotions right now. It kind of sucks.
And kind of what John just earlier about the crowd booing. Does it bother you the fact that people don't get that getting hit is not cool?
Yeah, it's not cool at all. It doesn't feel good. So, yeah, people, well, the fans, they pay for a show. Our job to go out there and put on a performance. But then again, you're thinking about our safety as well. The one shot could be the end of your career. I've seen punches like that in dudes' careers. So I thought I went out there, and that was my whole plan, was to put my right side forward. The first fight I had with him, I kept my left side forward, but when I switched sides, I think I threw him off a little bit. I had him backing up the whole time, pretty much the whole time. I thought I had good cage control, just keeping him, being aggressive, moving him back. But yeah, it doesn't bother me one bit. I know I got a job to do out there, and my goal is not to get hit. So I don't, if the crowd boos, they boo, but they're not the ones out there fighting.
And final question: do you think that you and Tyron's paths will cross before your career's over? Do you think you want that trilogy, or is it too fresh off the fight to even think about that before your career's over with?
Yeah, man. We may face each other again. You never know. We'll work my way back up, and we might do it round 3. You never know. So right now, I just want to get back and rest. But I've been fighting for close to 19 years. So just want to go back and get some rest, get some sleep, heal up, and go back to the drawing board.
You've talked about game planning and going to the drawing board. When you were doing that for this fight, were you anticipating it being this sort of tactical back and forth the way it was, or were you expecting something different from him to bring something else in?
Yeah, well, I didn't realize he was going to be as hesitant for this one. He was backing up a lot. And I knew he was waiting for me to come in. I could feel that. When you're out there, it's just a feel thing that, this guy's looking for me to come in so he can hit me with the right hand or take me down. So I had to play it smart. I had to keep him out with, keep him away with my side kicks, flick the jab out there every now and then, throw the left hand, throw a head kick, throw the leg kicks. But when he explodes, he explodes. So in the 5th round, he did hit me with that right hand. But that was the game plan going out there in my head. Of course, you want to go out there and have an awesome, spectacular knockout. But when you get out there, it's a different feel. I think only fighters can really understand what that's like whenever you're out there. But yeah, man, I knew it was going to be tactical. Technical, excuse me.
Stephen, Dana was in here a little while ago. He said he actually had the fight scored for you 3 rounds to 2. When we have a matchup of 2 fighters who have such distinctive style differences like this, do you think your style puts you at any kind of a general scoring disadvantage in the eyes of the judges? Because as you just alluded, Tyron, when he's imposing his will, is going to be explosive. There's going to be takedowns, things like that. Yours is going to be more tactical. It's going to be more points on the perimeter. Do you think that puts you at any visual disadvantage with judges who maybe don't appreciate that particular side of it?
Obviously it did for this fight. I wanted to explode. I wanted to throw, blitz him and throw big heavy bombs, but I knew he was waiting for me to do that. In the last fight, he waited for me to blitz in. He hit me with the right hand, knocked me down twice. So I knew that. So I had to kind of lure it out a little bit, kind of see where he was, and then blitz or then strike. But never got the chance to really go out there and do it because he never gave me an opportunity to. He was always ready. Even though he was backing up the whole time. But, yeah, I could see that being a disadvantage.
After being in there with him now for 10 rounds, is there one thing you can put your finger on tonight as opposed to back in New York that felt wholly different to you in terms of the fight itself? Just
my pressure to him. Me backing him up against the cage. He would explode in every now and then, but when I wanted the center of the octagon, I got it. So he tried a whole lot to get me up against the cage. He got me down in the 3rd round. He's successful there. Popped right back up, but he didn't have the chance to do that because I had him backed up against the cage. So yeah, I think the pressure this time from me, just having him back it up, just letting him know he's not going to have the center of the octagon was something different. I think that threw him off a little bit too.
And just lastly, about that 10-8 round that one of the judges gave him, part of the new rules changes is going to be a more liberal use of 10-8 rounds. Coming out on the losing side of that this time around, obviously you don't think it's a 10-8 round, but what are your thoughts in general on that change in scoring? Do you think maybe that's going too far in this case?
You know what? To be honest with you, I haven't really sat down and thought about it. Now that looking at the scorecards, yeah, I'm like, crap, I don't see that being a 10-8. I just don't see it being a 10-8. I don't know what else I could say, but I think that's going to push guys to go out there and fight harder, I believe, because you can't go out there and leave it in the judges' eyes like that, which is dangerous, I think. For me, knowing that this guy knocks me down, he gets a 10-8 or, an easy 10-8, I got to go out there and fight harder. But, yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. Sorry.
Yeah, Steve.
Sir?
Right here. Steven, so Tyron's known for being able to close the distance in fights and use his raw strength and his power, and you're really known for being able to pick guys apart at distance. But there were moments in the fight where you guys were literally at a stalemate, where you were really close to each other, and there was you guys were really respecting each other. What do you feel like was causing that?
We're both counterpunchers. He was waiting for me to come in, and I was waiting for him to come in. And it's kind of tricky, especially with somebody who fights like that, because you got to kind of lure them out. You gotta. I was throwing a lot of feints and hoping he would bite on it, in and out, in and out. Hopefully he'll try and hit me so I can counter him. But he made it very tricky. He wouldn't go when I wanted him to go. He went on his terms, and it was a little bit hard. I hit him with a lead hand hook a few times, but no real big shots. So I think with two counter punches, counter punchers, it makes it a little interesting. Makes it hard to kind of lure them out to do that, to be able to counter punch them. So, yeah.
All right, just one more question. I know you worked on a lot of strength training in this camp, and do you feel like that really helped you in this fight?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I felt great. Actually, when he took me down, he kept me down there for a little bit, but getting back up, I felt fine. Like, I got up pretty easy. He had a hold of my arm. It was an awkward position. I don't know if you saw it or not. He had his arm around my waist, and he had a hold of this arm. I couldn't get it out. He had a pretty strong grip. So once I got it out, I got up pretty easy, and we separated. But yeah, I think it really did help for this fight.
Stephen, you felt back here. You said you felt you were ahead, or you had won the fight. I'm way back here, sorry.
Okay.
I assume you thought you won 1, 2, and 4. Did you feel in the 5th round you were just kind of running out the clock, and you had the win, and as long as you got to the last bell?
That wasn't the plan, no sir. In the 5th round, I think he felt that he was losing, so he was going to be a little bit more aggressive. So he was trying to get me to the cage to end up taking me down. I think to get that. That's my opinion. That's what I felt when I was out there. So I had to get on my bike and move a little bit so I wouldn't get caught up against the cage. So that was the whole game plan there. So I wasn't trying to run the clock out. I was just trying not to get pinned up against the cage.
You talked a lot this week about there's good days and there's bad days, and the first fight just happened to fall on a bad day for you, and you don't think you performed to your best. Do you think today was a good day? Do you think it was a much better performance, or how did you kind of evaluate it?
Yeah, I felt great out there. I was very coherent. I was very aware. The clarity out there was awesome. Like, I could see everything he was throwing. So, yeah, I felt fine, man. Going into that 5th round, I'm thinking in my head, I got this. Maybe I shouldn't have thought that. Maybe I should have pushed a little harder.
And then the last thing for me is the wait for the scorecards. First time you had to sit there and wait for the scores to be read. Now today you had to go through that again. Was it the same feeling? Was it a different feeling as you kind of stood in the cage and waited?
Oh, no. I thought, me and my coaches, we thought I had it. We thought I had it. And then once they started calling out the scorecards and they had a split decision, that's when it kind of my stomach kind of dropped a little bit. And I was like, this could go the other way. And then he said, and still, and then I was like, man, Of course, you always go back and think, I should have done this and I should have done that, but what matters is what you do out there then and there. And that's on me.
Stephen, real quick, you said time and time again in the lead up to this fight that the first time you didn't feel like you left everything out there, and that was the goal going into this one. Do you feel, in hindsight, that you did that?
I felt that I did. The game plan was to go out there and pick them apart. I mean, when you're out there with somebody as strong as him, you don't want to be clinched up. You don't want to get hit with that right hand. So you have to pick them apart. You know what I mean? And that was the game plan going out there. Switching sides, I kept my right side forward, which threw him off. I think he was backing up a little bit, pretty much most of the fight. But yeah, that was it. I felt fine.
Yeah, and it took you a 7-fight winning streak to get the title shot the first time around. Obviously, this one came as the result of the draw. Do you think you're going to have to put a run like that together in order to get back to this position again?
I hope not a 7-fight. I hope it's not that many. But I can see myself fighting for that title again. I'm not giving up. So I'm going to go back, and we're going to go back to the drawing board. I'm 34. I'm a young 34. So I got plenty of time, I believe.
Stephen, right here.
Yes, sir.
One of the stories of this week was Josh Donaldson was going to be in the house for your fight. And I ran into him in the back. He said, "It's okay. I'm still proud of him." I'm curious if you've had the chance to talk to him.
I haven't had a chance to talk to him. Actually, going out to the octagon, he was there to support me. He was like, "Hey, man, Stephen, we love you, buddy. You got this." He's an awesome dude, man. Not really a whole lot of people realize, somebody at his level can be such a cool dude, And he's a good buddy of mine, and I'm super glad he flew in. He flew in today, and he leaves today. So he came out here to support me, and that's that's amazing. You know, that definitely hits me here.
Hey, Stephen. You know, of course, you said that you never want to leave it in the judge's hands, and you know, you shouldn't have done that. That's what everybody always says. But you do know that it can go to the judges. The first one went to the judges. Both you guys are very difficult to finish. Were there any conversations in camp that said, if this goes the distance, you know, how can we make that in our favor? Is that topic even addressed in camp?
No, I mean, in camp, we're just focused on, you know, our goal is to finish this guy, you know? That's your whole game plan going out there, is hopefully one of these shots lands and you put him out. And sometimes it doesn't go that way. You know, you have this feeling in training camp that you get this whole idea that you're going to go out there and kick this dude in the head and it's going to be an amazing knockout. But once you get out there and you feel that that second, I don't know, that sixth sense, I guess, and you just realize when you're out there, hey, this is going to be a technical fight. Kind of like it was with Rory. With Rory McDonald, I felt the exact same way. You know, I had a whole game plan going out there to take it to that guy, but in the first round, I knew this guy's going to try and take me down. He's waiting on me. So I got to play it smart, and that's how I felt out there, and I thought I did that.
You've spoke about this a little bit already, but I want to get, you know, just a more clear idea, I guess, of I think the first 2 rounds are kind of what is going to come into play here, because, you know, he had the takedown in the 3rd and then the 5th. You won the 4th. So I guess if there's any controversy, it would be, how do you score those first 2 rounds? And there was very little activity in the first 2 rounds. But what you're saying is you felt you won those 2 rounds just by virtue of what? That you had the center of the octagon.
I had the center of the octagon, and I did land the more of the strikes. The kicks, the side kicks, hit him with a jab a few times, some leg kicks. It was very slow because I was watching out for that. I was watching out for the clinch that he was looking for. I can hear his coaches at the same time. So I did. I felt that I had those 2.
Stephen, just one question.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much for talking to us tonight. A lot was kind of said between you and Tyron, and I know maybe at times it kind of bordered on personal. Are you able to walk away from this, you know, not so much feeling good about the relationship, but are there any regrets about the build-up and, you know, just because I know it was a bit out of your comfort zone at times?
Yeah, you know, not at all. I'm in this game to fight the best guys in the world, and it's definitely a privilege to do that. It's an honor to do that, so, you know, I've got no hard feelings for him.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep. Thank you, guys.